And we're back for halftime, the 2019 regular season game against Weber State here on Grizzly Game Day. And what a start by the Grizz. Montana running out to a 21-3 lead over the third-ranked Wildcats, thanks in part to a second quarter touchdown from today's legend of the game. This is Eric Tabor, Communications Director at the University of Montana. I'm joined now by a guy who had a pretty quiet game, actually, for him. Only 2 touchdowns against Weber State. Marcus Knight. Marcus, great to see you again. How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good. You know, all things considered, we could be playing some football, but I'm doing pretty good. So that being said, it's kind of been a frustrating fall. But how'd the summer and the off season go for both you and the team? You know, how do you think all that time kind of preparing for a season that may or may not happen? How do you think it all went for the guys?
Yeah, I think for sure the off season was kind of stressful because we didn't know if we were going to be playing or not. But it's definitely good to have a little bit of time off after the season, and then once we got back together as a team, you know, we've just been preparing as if there was a season. And you know, for me, I enjoy a little private time to work out, kind of Rocky style. So that wasn't too bad when I went back home. But you know, everyone's been. I mean, you wouldn't even think that we wouldn't have a season by the way that we're preparing. Our coaches talking to us. You know, we're ready for whatever. We've been, as everyone is telling you, we've been grinding, and you know, we're confident and secure with ourselves without the validation of a season. So whenever that season comes up, you know, we'll be ready to go.
Well, that's great stuff. It's good to hear. And you know, we've had a little bit of time now. We're about getting towards the halfway point of that fall ball season, they're calling it. So, you know, now that you've had a chance to strap them on a little bit, strap on the pads, how do you think the team's looking this year?
Yeah, we're looking good. No joke. we got a lot of dudes everywhere. We got a lot of JUCO guys. Happy to see that because I'm a JUCO guy. You know, we're pretty loaded all over the board. I don't see too much of a weakness. Just the past couple practices we had, you know, we're hitting just like a regular season. We're ready to go. So I mean, it's gonna be exciting whenever we put the helmets on for real this time. But yeah, we're good, and I think everyone knows that. So
very cool. Well, we'll look forward to 2020, 21, whatever you want to call it, as soon as we get around to it. But let's talk about 2019 for you. I mean, let's talk records, number one. You come here from JUCO, like you said, your first year at Montana, and you just had a phenomenal year. You're now the all-time leader in rushing touchdowns, all-time leader in total touchdowns. You had 5 different games with 3 TDs or more. Has any of that sunk in on you yet that you're etched your name at the top of Montana's record books already?
Yeah. I mean, it feels good. I'm trying to get the yards up now. I got the touchdowns, trying to get the yards up. But yeah, it's been real cool to come in and be able to do that as quickly as it happened. Wouldn't say I wasn't expecting it, but it was a pleasing reality that happened. And you know, it's a credit to, you know, the line played really well last year. We got guys knocking dudes back, and pride myself on being able to get into the goal line and in the red zone. And I got coaches that trust me to do it. So that was a big part of me being able to do that. And but yeah, it's been cool to have my name up in there.
Well, you got 2 more years to do it, to add to those yard totals, man. Obviously going into your junior season. What do you think about this is one of my favorite tidbits of last year, all year long. The only guy in Division I football that scored more touchdowns than you was Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin, who's now the starter for the Indianapolis Colts, second-round guy. What do you think when you hear that one? Because I love that stat.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could have beat him, honestly. I wish I had more, but you know, yeah, that's cool to be up there with him. Hopefully I can continue to be up there with him. So that's a definitely cool stat, though.
Top that list next year, right?
Right. Yes.
Describe your style. You know, you're not like a huge power back. It doesn't seem like. But what kind of running back are you that makes you able to get 25 touchdowns in a year?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think I like to think of myself as being able to do it all. I can be a power back. I can be a quick back, and I can be, you know, a pass catcher. So I just want to be able to be the guy that can, pound it in the end zone, close up, far out, whatever they need me to do. But I never really categorized myself as any particular back, just because I like to be open to whatever happens when I get the ball. It's going to be spontaneous. So whether that's me being powerful or that's me being fast, I like to trust my body to do whatever. So I'm down for whatever. We can get physical or we can use speed. So I'm up for it all.
Love it. Well, let's talk about this game. 2019 Weber State, 2 touchdowns for yourself, obviously, like we said. Top 5 matchup at Washington Grizzly Stadium. A lot of energy in the field that day. What do you remember most about that game, maybe in the week leading up to it?
Yeah, the week leading up, we've always known that Weber is a top team in our conference. We know that their defense is a very physical defense, one of the most physical, maybe besides ours in the conference. So, going into it, we pride ourselves on being physical. So, run game is always an emphasis, especially against a team that thinks they're physical. So we want to show that we can beat them in that aspect. So run game was definitely, a lot of power, a lot of counter run schemes we were thinking about. And, there, as being a top team in the conference, there was a team that we definitely want to show what we can do against, especially with the team we got now. We want to show we're right up there with them. And I think we did that.
So great day for you. Also a great day for the Montana defense. From your kind of seat on the sideline there, watching the defense out there do their thing. Big day for them, 4 turnovers. What do you remember from that? Just because that really added to the energy in the place.
Right. Yeah. They were balling out for sure. We play against them every day in practice, so I know they can hit, and they were laying some. I mean, I was standing on the sideline. It was loud. The fans were loud, but I could still hear the hits. They were coming in. They were coming in heavy. I mean, we still watch highlight films of that game, just what the defense did to them and the tone they set for us going in on offense. And the turnovers were a big deal for us to get the ball back quick. They did a great job, and they just showed that they're pretty dominant and not to be messed with.
There you go. Well, you kind of touched on this earlier, but just to wrap up here, what does a performance like that say about the ceiling that this 2020 2021 Grizzly team has? How high do you think that, or I guess, what does this say about the capability of this year's team?
Yeah, it says a lot. It shows that, we're not intimidated by anyone that will ever play. It shows that we're a physical team, and it shows that for being a young, maybe less experienced team, we can hang with the most experienced and toughest teams in our conference. So it can only go up from here. So I mean, people I think are aware of that, and they're seeing what we can do. And that game just really showed that we got it, and we're going to continue to have it for a while now. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, Marcus Knight, really appreciate you joining us, man. Thanks for the time. Can't wait to see you back out on the field. This has been the Legend of the Game segment with Marcus Knight, brought to you by the M Store. Grizz fans, if you bleed maroon and silver, you found your happy place at the M Store for all your Grizz apparel, gifts, and more. Drop by the M Store at 124 North Higgins in Missoula, or visit our online store at montanamstore.com. The M Store is all Grizz all the time. Marcus, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate you, and go Grizz.
Go Grizz. Fight on.